Hello, if you're tuning into this video, my name is Chanel Benjamin and I will be talking to you about my research on thermal tolerances amongst bee genera in urban and rural communities. The first thing you might be questioning from this title is the term thermal tolerance and what it has to do with bees in urban and rural communities. Well, first we have to understand urbanization. Urbanization occurs when areas that are more grassy, spacious, and have less people transform into areas that are more city-like with buildings, more cars, and more people. As countries develop, urbanization increases, and a lot of people are making the transition from rural to urban communities. What are the impacts of urbanization? As urbanization increases, it plays a significant role in environmental changes and overall rising temperatures. This is the result of something called the urban heat island effect. Here we have sun shining on a rural community. Most of the area is covered with grass and plants. During the day, heat from the sun evaporates water from the grass and plants. At night, this heat is released easily back into the atmosphere. On the other hand, we have an urban community. During the day, heat from the sun is absorbed and trapped by large concrete buildings. At night, some of the heat is released back into the atmosphere. However, the tall buildings restrict the rest of the heat from being released. This, combined with heat energy from cars and human activity, create a heat island. Therefore, urban environments end up being much warmer than the rural areas surrounding them. As a result, the average annual temperature in the US is expected to increase by 2.9 degrees Fahrenheit between the year 2021 and 2050. In the Midwest alone, the increase is expected to be about 9 degrees Fahrenheit according to the Climate Science Special Report. How does this all relate to bees? Well, there are about 20,000 bee species across the globe. About 400 species live in Wisconsin alone. Bees can live in a wide range of thermal environments from the high Arctics to very warm deserts. How can they survive in different temperatures? It's through a process called thermoregulation. Bees can adjust their body temperatures to survive and balance heat loss and heat gain. They need the right surrounding temperatures to perform their basic biological functions and to fly and forage. Now, imagine that you are a bee. It's a hot sunny day and you're flying through an urban area. Suddenly, it gets too hot for you to handle, and your muscles give up on you. You've just experienced your thermal tolerance. Thermal tolerances are a range of temperatures bees can tolerate before they lose their physiological function. They no longer have control over their muscles and they can't move around. There are two types of thermal tolerances. The first one is called the critical thermal minimum, or CT-min. This is the coldest temperature at which a bee can handle before losing control over their muscles. The critical thermal maximum, or CT-max, is the hottest temperature at which a bee can handle before losing control over their muscles. Now that you're an expert on thermal tolerances, I want to tell you a little more about my project. From June to August 2019, I chose 3 urban and 3 rural communities in Appleton, Wisconsin to collect bees from. Urban communities are highlighted in purple and rural communities in green. The 5 bee genera I focused on were Apis, Bombus, Helictis, Megachile, and Melisodes. Every day, I went to a site and collected 6 individual bees with a bee net and put them into 6 individual vials to bring them back to the lab. Once I brought them back to the lab in their vials, I let them sit for an hour to acclimate or get used to their surrounding temperature. After an hour, I tested their critical thermal minimum using a peristaltic pump. First, I filled the styrofoam box on the right with ice-cold water. Then, I placed an aluminum block holding the 6 individual bees in the vials in the styrofoam box on the left. This styrofoam box was filled halfway up with room temperature water. I connected a rubber tube to the 2 boxes, and when I turned on the machine, ice-cold water was pumped from the box on the right to the box containing the bees at a steady rate. As a result, the temperature of the vials decreased by 1 degree every 2 minutes. I checked the bees every 5 minutes by flipping them over. The temperature at which I flipped them upside down and they could not flip themselves back over was recorded as their CT-min. Once I recorded each individual CT min, I let the bees acclimate again before testing for their critical thermal maximum. To test their critical thermal maximum, I used a thermocycler, which is usually used for PCR and DNA amplifications. For my project, I used it to increase the temperature of the aluminum block holding the 6 Vs and vials by 1 degree every 2 minutes. Every 5 minutes, I observed the bees, flipped them upside down, then the temperature they could not right themselves because they lost muscle control was recorded as their CT max. After collecting all my data for about 84 bees, I created box plots for analysis. A box plot summarizes 5 data points. The horizontal line going through the middle of the box represents the median. The upper portion of the box is the third quartile, and the end of the line extending from it is the maximum point. The lower portion of the box is the first quartile, and the end of the line extending from it is the minimum point. The asterisks at the top of the graph represent significant differences, while the points are outliers. For this box plot, along the x-axis are the 5 different bee genera. Along the y-axis are the critical thermal minimum temperatures in degrees Celsius for each bee from urban or rural communities. In this graph, we can see a significant difference in the CT min for bombers between urban and rural communities. The bombers from urban communities have significantly low CT min than those from rural communities. In the box plot depicting information about critical thermal maximum temperatures, we see significant differences for Apis and Halictus. The CT max for Apis and Halictus in urban communities are much higher than those from rural communities. This means that Apis and Halictus from urban communities can tolerate hotter temperatures. Now that you know this information, why should you care? Bees pollinate about 80% of our food crops. If temperatures continue to rise, bee populations might not be able to adjust, which means they won't be able to fly and forage to pollinate. As a result, they can't survive. We won't be able to eat our favorite food, nor can food be sold, and the economy will be suffering. So remember, the next time you see a bee, say thank you for all their hard work. Lastly, I want to say thank you so much for listening.